Hello there. I thought I'd talk about the weather briefly because I know people here are always asking me like, oh, what's the weather like back home? It's so much nicer there, isn't it? It's always sunny and warm. I'm like, yes and no, because what's interesting is it's actually been colder sometimes at home at night than it has ever gotten here, well, for the winter. The spring, when I first got there in March and April, there were some days that had like cold, clear, frosty mornings, but not too many at that point. This time of year, though, in Ireland, the highs are typically in the 50s, occasionally like 40s, like mid to upper 40s. The weird thing for me is that the lows are like maybe 5 to 10 degrees lower, and I'm used to the valley where it's like a 20-30 degree drop. So that's kind of weird. And then the other thing that's weird about it is it's not necessarily colder at night. Like, it might be like, a certain temperature outside at 8 in the morning, and then you're like, oh, it's not too cold today, and then you go out later at 2 and it's like, when did it get so cold? So that's been weird to get used to. But yeah, like I guess I thought it would be colder here, but it's strange trying to explain to people trying to explain to people here that back home it is warmer in the day, but that at nighttime it's actually usually colder than it is here. So that's kind of weird, but there is usually a pretty big chill factor here because of the wind, and it's usually no sun, so it's usually like it might be 50 out, but with the chill factor it feels 40, So there is that to consider, I suppose. But it's kind of, I don't know, like, I feel a little cheated because the way people dress, it's like in like acts, and they've got fires going all the time. Like, I thought it would be so much colder than it actually is, but yeah, it's not that cold. And the fires going all the time are just because they don't really have like, I don't know, like central air and heating, I guess. I think that's what it's called. They have radiators, and in this house in particular, it's like a 200-year-old house, and they can only be turned on upstairs or downstairs. Like, they can't be on both. So during the night and like early morning it's upstairs, but during the day it's downstairs. But when they flip it upstairs, like, they put a fire on downstairs to help keep the sitting room warm. But like, if you go across the house to the kitchen, it's freezing cold. Or like in the afternoon, if I go up to my room, there's been no heat all day and I don't get really any light anymore because the sun's so far in the south. My room is freezing cold in the afternoon, so it's a little weird. Like, it's just, nothing's really super predictable or like what I would expect it to be if I were at home in California, so it's different. But anyways, I'm gonna head off to bed, and I'll talk to you tomorrow about something more interesting than weather, hopefully. Alright, goodbye.